Hello, baseball fans. This is the Collegiate Summer Baseball Network, and I'm your host, Ken O'Neill, for Commissioner's Corner. And today we are talking with Sean McGrath of the New England Collegiate Baseball League. And Sean, thank you very much for being here today.
Right now, it's a new world, so it's good to see you on Zoom.
Well, the reason we're talking to you, obviously, is the fact there is no baseball. And so we would like to know how the season is progressing. Have you decided to play the season? Is there anything along those lines you can tell us?
Similar to all of our partners in summer collegiate baseball, the National Alliance of Collegiate Summer Baseball issued a statement in the last couple of days following a meeting that we had where we all are pretty much in the same situation, focusing on practicing good social distancing, trying to keep safe, stay healthy, while at the same time be nimble, flexible, and ready to respond to the circumstances that we're facing with, in hopes that we'll have a baseball season, whether it's a traditional full season or if it's abbreviated, what it may look like. So we're all in the same boat. Most importantly, again, focusing on the safe and well-being of our communities and our families. Keeping the public safe on our front lines.
Now, we found out that the Alaskan Baseball League, they canceled their season, and the Perfect Game League said that somewhere at the end of April or the end of May, they will make a decision about whether they're going to start their season. Do you have a specific date that you say after this date, that's it, or?
That is a specific date. I mean, we're similar to a lot of other leagues, we're the New England League. We're in all six New England states. So we're monitoring all the governors and local, regulations and guidance. And it's different and it varies. Obviously, we have a team, Danbury, Connecticut, that's, not too far from New York City, and they've been affected. This entire state of Connecticut is concerned about visitors coming and going out of their state. So everybody's in their own, has their own regulations. So we're trying to keep track of everything. Again, there certainly is a timeline where, we need to give the go ahead if we're going to start the season on time, because it's going to take obviously a few weeks to ramp things up, to be ready for opening day. So that early May, that period is going to be very important, time frame for all of summer collegiate baseball leagues.
Now, have you talked to any of the parents or any of the kids who are going to play on the team?
So as of right now, all these players around the country lost their season. So they are, not surprisingly, they're hoping that they can play. They're hoping to be here. They're itching to compete and be with a team, be on the field. And you can't fault them. We are as well. So right now, the signs are from the players and the college coaches. They're all very hopeful, like we are, that the summer collegiate baseball season can happen in some form, and those players can return to some normalcy. Again, they're devastated with losing their spring season, and cautiously optimistic and hopeful that they'll be able to participate this summer.
Now, is there any financial repercussions for a season that maybe you won't have?
Obviously every team's structured in their own manner. And sorry about this. I'm actually having a battery situation here on the computer. So
that's all right.
Not the best timing here, interruption.
It's okay.
But hopefully we'll not get cut off here. Every organization is unique. So there are some organizations that have different levels and amounts of overhead. So they're all internally looking at what they can do, for their organization. So that's,
now, have you talked to any of the college coaches? What is their opinion of all of this?
Again, they respect the situation that we're in. They lost their own season, so they know the predicament and the circumstances. And they're really hopeful that their players can have a place to play this summer, so that when they return to them in the fall, they have less rust and they're kind of more prepared and ready to jump into the fall season so they can have a productive fall season. Because again, for many of these kids, they had a very, very short spring season, if at all. And that means for many of them, they really haven't competed for a good 9 months. Again, their coaches would love nothing more than to have the players out in the summer competing.
If you have a season, do you think the fans will show up, and have you considered playing without fans?
Great question. When the guidelines and restrictions start to lessen and start to be lifted around the region, there's been some studies that have been coming out in the media recently about everybody's comfort level in returning to business as normal, and would they fill up a ballpark? And there tends to be indications and studies that are showing that people will be cautious, and you can only respect them knowing the ramifications of being infected with the virus. So it seems that the return to entry may not be business as usual, and that we're certainly aware of. As far as participating with, if it comes to the point where fans are not permitted to congregate, I think that would be a deal breaker for summer collegiate baseball, quite frankly. If the experts and the powers that be determine that it's not safe to congregate, then I think we have a lot of thoughts, a lot to think about whether it's safe for our players to congregate, compete against each other, travel on buses, travel around the country, travel throughout 6 New England states, and then also living with host families. So I think that the gatherings restrictions will be certainly something that we study and look closely at.
You could play all your games in Danbury, Connecticut, to have the whole season right there.
Yeah. That's very close to the epicenter, and I know they're going through a lot themselves down in that region, as are most regions in New England.
Well, we hope that the season will start, because I don't know about you, but not only is there no sports, there's no baseball. That seems un-American, doesn't it?
It sure does.
I know why. It's just
we're all feeling the same. Absence of sports and competition and America's pastime. And again, we'd love all of our summer collegiate baseball in general throughout the country. What they provide in their communities is priceless. And the summer oftentimes starts when summer collegiate baseball begins. So we'd love to be in a position to be able to bring that back to our communities. That decision likely is going to be made for us by a terrible pandemic. But we'll be ready should we be permitted to do so.
Well, we've been talking to the New England Collegiate Baseball League's Sean McGrath. Thank you very much for being with us, and good luck in the future.
Thank you. Be safe.